Hi there. I haven't done a video for a while. I think it's been a good while, maybe almost a week. But here it goes. I'll try and do a video just now. And as you can see, I've still got my cold, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is what I want to talk about is I was just watching a video on YouTube. Sometimes I put on my YouTube and it comes up with a site on YouTube or a page called Universe Inside You, and I sometimes watch their videos. I just watched one of a mathematician, and I think that all maths and all numbers are illusory because all just comes from nothing. So all that means all forms and everything is just stupid. And I think that everything after nothing's just made up. But anyway, they were talking about the Akashic records. That's the thing, and they were saying how people access. I call it parallel realities and future self. That's all you're doing. And they were saying that people that are doing this are accessing the Akashic records. That may be true, but at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that I'm special or that anyone's special. Everyone's actually doing it. I explain it in terms of parallel realities. When you get a thought, a very insightful thought that is more advanced than any thought you've had before, that is what they're talking about. That is what they call the Akashic records. But you're basically just accessing a future version of yourself, a more advanced version, because all that is, everything has to come from nothingness. At some stage, logic and common sense would suggest that, and if that is true, everything has to come from nothing. Then that means the nothingness would have to be infinite awareness, because nothingness is infinity. That means you can't have two infinities. So that means it's all of infinity. That means it's awareness, because to produce awareness, you'd have to be aware in the first place. So that's all. So all you're accessing is the infinity. All you're accessing when people call it you're accessing Akashic records, that's just a name, a made-up label, a made-up name for it. But all is just awareness with no form, because it all comes from nothing. And that means there's only one infinite awareness. And see, all maths and all that kind of stuff, see, what we are is just awareness, and we are the infinity of it all, because we come from nothing. And that means that nothing would have to be the life in itself. It means that life always is. It means that what happens is, as many scientists believe now, that the awareness would manifest itself in form, like a holographic universe type thing. That's what would happen. It would manifest itself in form, and that's basically what happens, yeah. And that is known, and obviously a holographic reality is all that can come from energy, and that's what we're living in. And we're seeing it all as separate, as though that separate person was actually the same energy, the same thing manifests itself in an illusion of separation. And all this is the same awareness. It means that I am you, and you're me, and it's all the same one. And it's just consciousness that manifests itself. And the whole point of limitation is for the experience of limitation. So that, when you're in limitation, you've got challenges that you wouldn't have had before, and the challenges of limitation grow you. You don't grow when you can do anything or have anything you want. it would get quite boring. Excuse me. You grow by having a challenge, by limitation, by not being able to get what you want when you want it. That's why people in the spiritual community, they talk about attracting their desires, but they don't realize not getting it is what grows you. Having limitations grows you. And also they don't look at is the reason why they're wanting something. That's the problem. The reason why. The reason that we want something outside of ourselves is because we're not happy with what we've got. So the attention should change to the unhealed part. And then what you're doing when you meditate upon this, you're basically accessing your subconscious traumas, which is manifesting this neediness. And then you heal it. That's what you're meant to do. But people who don't practice meditation, they're just fooled by the outward world, and they just chase, and it never heals them. You know. So I just wanted to do a little video today. I haven't done, it must have been about a week. Excuse me, since I've done a video. But that's what people would say, that I'm accessing the Akashic records, and you know, that I'm accessing something really. It's everyone's accessing the same thing. Whenever you get that insightful thought, and it's really insightful from the future, that's what they're talking about. And that's it. Everyone's actually doing this, but it gets labeled or perceived like the people that are accessing the Akashic records are beyond anyone else. And we're all doing it. You know, we're always getting insightful thoughts from the future. Some might be bigger thoughts than others, or different ideas, but it's still that. Because it's all the same awareness. Past, future, and present are all one. All time is multidimensional. So that's why it's always going on. This is how you use parallel realities to heal yourself. It's just the Akashic records, what they call the Akashic records, and it's always happening. The past thoughts are happening, past future ideas are happening, and present. And when you start working with them, you're actually developing your present reality and healing yourself. When you start working with this, you know, that's what you're doing. But you have to start to meditate all the time on situations. When you're in a situation, you have to meditate upon it at that moment. And then you'll start to access this parallel timelines. And this is what I do all the time. This is what the unexpected spiritual awakening did for me. Is it made me aware of this. It made me aware that I was doing that. When you're not aware you're doing it, then you can't work the magic. Once you're aware and you have the know-how of how to use these parallel and future timelines, you can then manipulate your reality going forward. Because your higher self is able to guide you and lead you and show you the way, the best possible route in your life. Where someone who has psychic readings all the time doesn't have that intelligence. It's not because they're stupid, it's because they're choosing not to look for it. They're choosing not to meditate. So many people want to chase outward because they don't want to face their own inner problems. But once you face them in meditation, you don't hurt from them. You can face these issues without hurting in meditation. And then you start accessing this Akashic record, parallel future timelines. And this is what happened to me in this unexpected spiritual awakening that I had nearly 9 years ago. And that's what's always happening. We're always accessing these future, past, and present timelines. It's all going on. That's why I say there's no time. And all that time that is perceived is all past, future, and present is all happening in the same now. But I'm just going to leave it there. It's a lot of information to take in. If you're watching, you're meant to watch it. Everything falls to divine order and divine timing. Thank you for watching.